I am Kosna Tindlovu, and this is Tech Central's TCS Plus, brought to you today by Cloud On Demand. The cloud revolution has challenged businesses of all sizes by changing how IT teams go about implementing projects and managing infrastructure. IT services firms have been doubly challenged, having to sell a new computing paradigm to their clients while also practicing what they preach and adopting cloud-first technologies in-house. Consnet is an IT solutions firm that had leveraged the AWS distribution model to accelerate its journey into the cloud, enabling the company to do the same for its customers. Joining me in studio are Dion Kalicharan, Managing Director at Consnet, and Xhenia Rhode, AWS Development Manager at Cloud On Demand.
Hi, guys.
Hello, Dion. Hello, Xhenia. And welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Awesome. Xhenia, now this is episode 3 that Tech Central has been doing with Cloud On Demand. And we've been talking about the AWS partner distribution model. Could we start with a recap for those people who haven't watched the first 2 episodes?
Yeah, sure. So the AWS distribution model specifically at Cloud On Demand really focuses on 4 key pillars. That would be business, so strategy, so understanding what the partner strategy is, where they want to grow, what are the growth areas, what do they need help with, really diving deep into who and what the customer is. Sorry, can we take that from the top? Okay, diving deep into who the partner is, what they do, and where they want to go on their AWS journey. It is quite overwhelming, so we really look to help them. And then we also look at the technical part of things. So what technical capability do they have, and what technical capability do they need? And then we also look at AWS programs, so what programs would be tailored to the business. And with Consnet, we took them through the ADE program, which is Accelerated Development Engine. So that is something that we took the team through, and I'm happy to say that they've graduated from it. So that's super exciting. Yes. Well done. The team really worked hard on that. And then the last one would be training and certification. So with AWS, they have a very programmatic approach to how they want things done and how things are done. So we just help guide the partners through that process.
Okay. Dion, I think, could we start by getting an overview of your company? You've been in the IT services industry as a company for 21 years. Could you tell us what Consnet does?
So really simple. We supply business applications for our customers that helps them to operate their businesses quite efficiently. We started off in the SAP world, so SAP ERP, so Enterprise Resource Planning applications for customers, and implementing that solution as well as supporting it over time. And over time, we have grown as an organization into the CRM space. We've pretty much specialized in CRM. That's the topic that we're known for. And we called it the SAP solutions, and now we've brought a whole stack of other solutions into that particular space as well to help our customers accelerate their digital journeys into the digital world. And coming together with that would be integrating a whole host of all the communication channels that you as a customer might want to communicate with that business, and enabling that communication to help that customer get exactly what they want when they want it.
Okay.
So that's actually kind of like really, really helpful for large established businesses that operate in their traditional manners and their traditional forms. But now we leapfrogging them into this new dimension where they can assist their customers in the way that they're demanding it today. So basically that's what we do.
Okay, awesome. Key to surviving in business for 2 decades, right, is adaptability. You've seen quite a number of technological changes in your time as a business. Could you tell me about what the impetus was for the move into the cloud?
So if one has to think about it, right? So we had a situation where customers generally would take all their business solutions, including the installation of that, and put it into their data centers, which basically comes with a situation that you now need to manage. So you need to look after that. You need to ensure that there's consistent power supply. You need to ensure that your lines are up and your networks are running fine and everything's working. You need infrastructure behind that. You need the right resources, the right people to manage all of that. And then you have the likes of the situations in the country where we've got, call it load shedding that's hitting us, or connectivity that might get interrupted, or something to that effect comes into play.
Yes.
And now all of a sudden you're playing different games, and you really need to ensure that these systems are up, they're running, and the business can run. So those interruptions is something that then makes us believe that now all of a sudden we need to take and offload those solutions from looking after it by ourselves to putting it into a more consistent, reliable environment that can just run without us spending too much of time and effort in managing that. And let the experts do what they do, right?
Yes.
So then all we have to do is literally run our businesses.
Okay. So awesome. Now you're a technically savvy business, right?
Yep.
And you're thinking, okay, now let's move from this on-prem infrastructure, simplify things for ourselves, and put it in the cloud. It does take a paradigm shift, right? And I'm guessing that this is where Cloud on Demand comes along and says, well, let's help you navigate the cloud and kind of help you understand how this space works. Could you tell us about some of the guidance that you got along the journey?
So I think maybe just to clarify, we were playing with cloud, with other cloud services, and so we got to understand it a little bit better, and how that all works and what we can bed down for our customers. And we were pretty much left to our own devices in that exploration journey.
Yes.
And then came along Cloud on Demand, and we started to interact with them. I would say that the biggest difference is going down the Amazon journey together with Cloud on Demand was the actual support that we get from them.
Okay.
So we've got somebody that we can contact, we can pick up the phone, we can talk to. We encountering maybe some technical issues or questions that we have, or customers are asking about something. Literally a phone call away. The service is absolutely amazing. Xhenia is always on my case.
Yes.
And I think as a key touch point to Cloud on Demand for us, Xhenia can navigate, the infrastructure and the ecosystem to find the right people to talk to very, very easily. So I think that's the kind of support that a lot of organizations, even us as an IT services organization, need in an ecosystem, which Cloud on Demand is readily available and there to supply for us. So I would say it's more about the relationship.
Yes.
And I think Xhenia has a lot of belief in us as well. To take us on that journey.
Yes. One of those journeys that you'd have to do, and Xhenia, you touched on this at the beginning, is kind of skilling, right?
Yeah.
You've got a group of IT focused people, but they're not necessarily cloud engineers. Yeah. So how did you help them kind of get their skills up?
Yeah. So like I mentioned in the beginning, we go through a strategy session. And it took me really long to understand what Consnet does. And I was just like, okay. And I would stand in front of a whiteboard and I'll tell them, explain it to me again. And like the team are probably like, this girl doesn't know what she's doing. But anyway, they had enough grace and patience with me that I finally began to understand, and they started like showing me examples of like their customers and where they fit into their customers' outputs, right? Because that's essentially what the solution helps with. And then the dots started connecting, like we would say.
Yes.
So once I could understand exactly what the team does, it makes it easier for me then to understand from a skills perspective what developmental areas there are. And that's really when we started looking at what AWS skills would be best aligned for the teams at hand, right? And Dion prides himself on having his whole team involved on certain projects.
Yes.
And AWS became a really big part of the company. And he was like, okay, these guys, phone them anytime, they're your go-to people.
Yes.
And obviously I did that in true Xhenia fashion. But the guys really took the opportunity to learn. They got their certifications, so everything from the foundational certifications to the associate level certifications, and I know there's plans for them to continue on their learning path. So with the need for skilling or reskilling, there's also the hunger that the Consnet team has, which makes that process so much easier.
And as you're moving into the cloud now, one of the reasons you want the cloud is to benefit your customers. But as you're implementing, you might think, hey, this is actually useful for us. Can we take this in-house? So Have you moved any of your applications, any of your workflows onto the cloud yourselves?
Yeah. So maybe I'll tell you a little bit of story first. So coming up to COVID, we realized that a lot of our customers wanted to go and, needed a solution where they can interact with their customers, where they're not in front of them.
Yes.
Right. So we can't visit our customers anymore. We can maybe phone them, but customers need a capability that an organization needs to provide to actually interact with. So we developed call it customer portal based on an e-commerce platform for our customers. And because our customers ran SAP ERP environments, and that's where, you're running your entire organization. So all your sales ordering occurs, your stock management, your warehouse management, and so on. So we built the customer portal so that it fully integrates with the flick of a switch into your SAP environment. So we're going to get you there really, really fast.
Yes.
And I would say initially we would have it in our own data centers, in our own environment. And that was really a good solution to take to market for that time.
Yes.
Customers adopted it really, really quickly.
Yes.
And we've got some really good success stories during that journey. And of course, then came the power disruptions and so on, and we had to manage through that. So we had proper UPSs in play, proper generation systems, and so on. So backup power generation. And those type of things. But, it always worries you because now all of a sudden these applications become mission critical to the business. Initially it wasn't, but now it becomes. Customers are loving it. They're loving the interaction and the journey that we curate for them on these platforms. So now it's becoming, it must be on. The lights must be on constantly. So one of the things that we've decided to do with this journey with the AWS team and with Cloud On Demand is to start to move those workloads into the cloud.
Yes.
Because then we have assurances that those things will always be up and running.
Yes.
So we've taken the first step, our integration platform. We've now moved that into the cloud. We're busy with the second step, which is now to take that entire platform, which is the customer-facing platforms like the customer portals, and move that into the cloud. So it becomes a cloud-based offering.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now we get a significant benefit through that process, where AWS themselves, together with the Cloud On Demand team, double checks everything that we do. So they go and they scrutinize the build of that application and how solid is that application, and have we taken into consideration everything around security and to make it like really, really robust application.
Yes.
And that helped us a lot to flesh all of those topics out and make sure that all of those requirements are catered for. And it's almost as if AWS and Cloud On Demand is giving us a tick to say, we certify your application to bring it on the cloud.
Yes.
Which then gives us creds with our customer community, right? And they say, right, if AWS is standing behind this and Cloud On Demand, it must have gone through all the checks and balances that are required.
And one of the checks, security is an important one, but the other thing is that you've deployed this efficiently, right?
Yeah.
And optimizing that. Do you also get guidance with that as well?
I think it's every step of the journey.
Yeah.
We talk about curated journeys for our customers within their customer journeys, right? I think Xhenia and her team has done a curated journey for us.
Yeah.
So we had a starting point, and it was a journey that's now been a year and maybe
Just
almost
over,
2 years long, with every single step of that journey being assisted by them. And as well as then helping us to check those boxes. So the technical experts from their team is on with our technical experts, and everybody's constantly talking to each other as to what is the things that needs to be done, what is the next step in the process, and how do we get there as quickly as possible.
Xhenia, I'd like to recap on the last episode we had, because we made Development Hub in the last episode. And the interesting thing about the differences in needs is that with Development Hub, you had a bunch of technical savvy guys, but they needed a lot of business acumen, you would say, and you were able to then guide them on that journey. On this side, you've got on the business side, 20 years, solid business acumen. They are technical people, but the cloud was something that they needed guidance in. How important is it that you meet your development partners where they are in terms of what they need?
Yeah, that's critical. There's no one size fits all at Cloud On Demand. Every partner is different. Their solutions are different. Their customers are different. Their teams are different, right? With different skills and knowledge requirements even. So it's very again, that's why we take the time to understand who our partner is.
Yes.
Right? Because if I didn't know and take the time to know, and also the team taking the time to guide me to understand what they do, it would have been very difficult for me to go back to my team and the broader team at Cloud On Demand to say, hey guys, this is what Consnet needs help with. This is where they're at. This is where they're getting stuck. This is the solutions architect at Consnet. Please meet our solutions architects, right? So that would have been very difficult, and it would have caused a lot of frustration for Dion and his team in their digital transformation journey, right? So it's critical to know exactly who the partner is, what they do, and where they want to go. And that where they want to go is how we create the how. Like Dion said, that curated journey of getting to where we want to be.
Okay, excellent. So Dion, I mean, you said it's a 1.5 year relationship. What's the vision as you go deeper into the cloud?
So our customers are now adopting a cloud-first strategy. So not a lot of people are looking at, managing their own kit and so on. So they want service providers that can help them with those journeys, right? So number one is call it the SAP backbone. So those type of solutions that we get out of the large OSMs or the original software manufacturers. We now need to take those and put that into a cloud environment or a hyperscaler for our customers to help them run their operations, right? So that would be your traditional ERP applications. And then for us in particular, we want to call it capitalize on the cloud journeys to have our solutions in play as well, so that we can switch those on for our customers to help them to move into that digital marketplace or into that digital interactive world with their customers. Customers are becoming younger and they're all demanding that we need to supply services to them in the way that they've grown up in the format that they used to. So businesses almost need to play a lot of catch up in that particular space to then start to digitize how their interactions work with their customers. And I assume that if you can give your customer that capabilities, put it in their hand, that ability to interact with you as an organization, they will interact far more frequently with your organization, which obviously then results in better business interactions.
Of course. So what is the benefit now of having gone through the journey with Cloud On Demand? It seems now you have to play almost the same kind of maternal or paternal role with your own customers. How has this journey benefited that process?
So I think number one, if we look at customers and everybody actually wants to go on to the digital transformation journey, there is a need to get that done, but then there's a lot of apprehension about what are the steps I need to take in order to progress that within my organization and how do I get there. I think the benefit of now us having gone through this journey with Cloud On Demand and with the AWS team is that now it's kind of like we get a certification stamp to say that we know how to take you on this journey. And for us then to go and consult with our customers to say, okay, let's us help you curate that journey and how to get there and look at the actual problems that we're trying to solve as a business while we're doing that. We can take them very easily on their journey, and it's backed by Cloud On Demand. So it actually gives you that that tick that you want.
Certified.
And customers need that level of trust. Right? And that stamp of approval is actually something that is literally going to help to get that journey moving faster.
Xhenia, I am watching the show and I run an IT services firm, and I'm thinking, should I partner? And what will I get if I do partner? What would you say to me?
So you get a lot, I think is the short answer. But to be honest, you really get a team. I think our team is almost 10 or more now. That's a mixture of marketing, summary and marketing that's dedicated to AWS marketing, which is very particular. I know someone on Dion's team went through a joint marketing plan, and I can tell you that there was a lot of back and forth on that as well. But so you literally have a team of experts waiting to help you. And like Dion said earlier, the team is there and we believe in the business, whether it's somebody who has just registered the business yesterday at the CIPC or somebody who's been in business like Dion for 20 plus years.
Yes.
We are there to ensure that your business becomes successful or at least gets as close to success as possible on the cloud, right? And you've mentioned optimization earlier. We've saved, I think this past year, we've probably saved some of our partners, I'm giving a rough number, but more than 100,000 Rand, which is a lot of money for a business that's still developing, that's still trying to get where they need to be, that's still trying to farm customers. You know, it's very difficult with a whole lot of overhead expenses and operation costs. So over and above the technology part, we're also there to help you from a business perspective. So Dion's team might not have needed the business support, but they thrived with the technical support. And there will be a lot more other partners like that, right? That don't necessarily need the business wits, but they really need that technical support. And a lot of times partners think, because I know one cloud, I'll know this cloud. And cloud is similar, but they are also different at the same time. So it will be different naming conventions. And our teams are there just to help guide our partners. Our technical teams are there really to help guide our partners through learning the new AWS cloud if they weren't AWS native, right? And just having that person, like Dion also mentioned, just to call and be like, guys, I'm stuck, I don't know. Am I doing the right thing here? You know, and even when it comes to costing. So Dion mentioned the migration of his application, or the first phase of his migration of his application, moving from on-prem to the cloud. That's a very big area or a very big risk, right? Because now we have to first make sure that the solution on-prem is solid, number one. And then number two, we start looking at what services are similar or the same on the cloud, right? So once that first phase is now on the cloud and we've migrated it, then we start looking at how do we optimize the service? Are there ways that we can make it better for our customers? And then with optimization, it might not always mean from a cost perspective. Sometimes it is cost, and that's really great. But then there's also another opportunity to modernize, right? So something, for example, that was just on EC2, which is Elastic Cloud Compute, can now move to containers because it's more efficient from a price perspective. So it's not only efficient from a usability and how quickly things happen on the back end, but it's also efficient from a cost perspective as well.
Talking about that, Dion, we've just come from Black Friday, right? And you said you run an e-commerce. It's an e-commerce platform that you give to your customers. How is running a Black Friday or an event like Black Friday, where you have a spike in demand, different on-prem versus now in the cloud? So
we've got call it the largest contingent of B2B customers, right, that don't really get affected by Black Friday. However, we have a few business-to-consumer customers that are driving consumer marketing, and Black Friday is really, really important for them. So for us, at the moment, we haven't actually plugged that solution into the cloud just yet. So we feel the pain of Black Friday right now because we aren't able to adapt for that market demand very, very easily. And when we move into the cloud, we're going to move into a containerized environment. And as soon as that demand spikes, that means we can spawn a new application as quickly as possible, put it against the load balancer, and then meet that demand that's coming in all of a sudden. And then when we're done with Black Friday, we can collapse that container and then go back to normal operations again. So the containerization of your applications really help us. And that's something that we're looking forward to for the next, call it, season of sales. If we can get there as quickly as possible, it's going to help us. It's going to help our customers. Everybody's going to feel a lot more comfortable when we hit these type of, call it, market demands that are going to occur. So scalability, absolutely on the cloud. And they help us to do it much easier.
All right, awesome. I think that was a very interesting conversation. Thank you very much, Xhenia. Thank you, Dion.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers. That is Dion Kalicharan as well as Xhenia Rhode from Consnet. No. Let's start that again. No. That is Dion Kalicharan. He is the managing director at Consnet, as well as Xhenia Rhode. She is AWS Partner Development Manager at Cloud On Demand for TCS Plus.